today, whether you're the applicant, owner, neighboring property owner, or someone else. And so we'll start with someone labeled PDA, and you'll have to unmute as well. Did you unmute? I can't hear you talking, sir.
Yeah,
there we go.
Jim Ritter. I'm an architect representing Mark.
All right, great. Welcome, Jim.
Yeah,
And,
I'm Mark McLeod. I'm here too.
okay, it's Mark McLouch, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, McLouch.
Okay. All right, and Mark, looks like your video is going in and out a little bit, but if you do intend on providing any testimony here today, I'll need you to have your video active. We also have Matt Lashide, who is a zoning plans examiner with the city.
Morning, everybody.
Sorry about that. All right. Are we expecting anyone else to join us here on the applicant owner side? No? Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. I need to read through our hearing script. This will just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll get into it. So this is the October 31st, 2024 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. Again, my name is David Sturkey. I'll be presiding over the hearing today. The case before us is case number ZH20240130. That's 6204 Hamilton Avenue. The purpose of the hearing is to allow applicants and any potential opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. I'll allow Mr. Ritter and Mr. McLouch to tell me about the project, sort of present the case here, why you think the zoning relief that you're requesting is appropriate and why I should grant it. If there were anyone here from the public, they'd be able to testify after the applicant had presented its case. We'll hear from the planning department and Mr. Lashide to present any testimony in addition to his staff report. And then finally, you all, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with the hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. All right, last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, really doing anything other than just strictly observing here today, then the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if you are going to provide any testimony, if you could take yourself off of mute now, if you are on mute, and raise your right hand, answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
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 Okay, Mr. or Mark, could you activate your camera? And just raise your right hand and answer out loud to that question. You're on mute. Take yourself off mute as well. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can, but your video is not showing up. Can you activate your camera?
Can you hear me now?
I can. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Mr. Ritter, would you like to start us off here?
Sure. Mark currently runs 2 insurance agencies. One's out in Coleraine Township. It's been there like 20, 25 years. And he opened up another insurance agency about 2 blocks away from this location at 6204 Hamilton. And he'd like to move into a better space. And so we've tried to help him get the documents and the prints and the drawings, and really the building department and IBI have signed off on it. Really, it's up to zoning as to whether this is acceptable or not. And as I understand it, the variance really has to do with the fact that his activity isn't intense enough for the current zoning.
Yeah, can you sort of make the case, just put on the record here and make the case why you think this is appropriate use at this location?
Well, yeah, we provided drawings showing that there are probably 8 or 10 businesses within 2 blocks that are similar to Mark's activities. That they're small service businesses, whether they're doctor's office, lawyer's offices, a hair salon that are all along Hamilton Avenue within 2 blocks of this location. And there's a bank. There's a bank on the same block. So it just seems logical to me that he should be able to operate a low intensity business like an insurance agency.
Okay.
Can I speak
Anything
as
else?
well?
Yeah, sure.
Also, what I would say is it's a pretty small space, 1,000 square feet, 1,100 square feet unit. I'm planning on having anywhere from 4 to 6 employees work out of this location at one point. So just understanding 4 to 6 employees working out of this space. Plus, I have somewhere of 6 to 10 clients that walk into this space on a given day, to be able to help support the local restaurants and areas as well. We're going to be occupying that space full time, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Just to help that business district with their businesses. We utilize the bank there, in downtown Hamilton. So a lot of what we do is going to bring activity to that Hamilton Avenue space, and be able to help, the infrastructure of the local restaurants and businesses around there as well.
Now I'm on mute. Sorry. Thank you. Anything else from the applicant or owner before I turn it over to the zoning division here?
Well, I think the tenant space has been vacant for almost 2 years. And the owner, which is in effect the city of Cincinnati, hasn't been able to obtain a tenant with a high intensity activity at that location. The market kind of says what Mark wants to do is reasonable.
Okay, great. I'll turn it over to Matt. Matt, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, quickly summarize. So they're requesting a locational variance to allow an office on the ground floor along the sidewalk. As the applicant outlined, the zoning code requires more intense uses like retail uses or restaurant uses right along the sidewalk. The intent of that is to promote more commercial activity, more pedestrian activity, have more people walking along the sidewalk, make it more interesting for folks that are walking along the sidewalk. I would concur with the applicant's statement that they would contribute positively to the streetscape by their business promoting, their employees and their customers coming in and out, just as employees and customers of other businesses would do and would support other businesses along Hamilton Avenue. And I think the applicant's made a good point that the site has been vacant for 2 years, and it's possible that the current zoning regulations are not necessarily adequate for this property. I mean, commercial real estate has changed, since more things are purchased on the internet, since COVID. I think it may be realistic to expect that an office use like this is perfectly appropriate here. And as outlined, there are other office uses or similar uses along Hamilton Avenue in the immediate vicinity. So what's being requested is a substantial property right enjoyed by others in the area. With that, staff recommends approval. I'm here if you have any questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. I do not. I'll turn it back over to the applicant and owner to make any statements in response to that, or any statements in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here today.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
The other thing that I would point out, the space is on the ground floor of an apartment building. I think there's, 3 floors there, and on the opposite side, another apartment building. And I'm talking with the owners of the apartment buildings to be able to utilize insurance, renters insurance, things that we specialize in for those tenants as well, is a great opportunity to just service those households and those clients right there as well. And to be a local presence right there on that space as well for people needing renters insurance is the only thing that I wanted to add to that.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And I think we can leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials and the staff report. I probably did 2 or 3 dozen variances when this thing was trying to be built. It's just the project that just keeps on giving in terms of variances and zoning relief needed. So I'm familiar with the area. I'm familiar with the project. Based on that, based on the testimony that I've heard here today, I am going to approve the application. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. I mentioned at the beginning that typically takes about 2 weeks. I'll try and get that out to you as quickly as I can. As soon as I finish that, I put it into a PDF and I'll email it to everybody who's in the hearing here today. So y'all have a copy of that really just moments after it's complete. As soon as Matt receives that email, he can approve the zoning on his end, and hopefully you all can take the next steps. Any questions about any of that?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, if you do have any questions in the meantime or want a status update on the decision, feel free to reach out to me directly. Otherwise, hope you guys have an excellent day. Good luck with the project and the business, and we're adjourned.
Yeah, happy Halloween.